Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Mr. Roger Manshen, the Right Honorable Miss Nelly Butete Kashumbamiti, State Council MP, FAPRA, Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia and host of the 56th Plenary Assembly. I had another title added to her. She is a woman of many titles. Honorable Advocate Jacob Francis Swindanilimo Mugenda, Speaker of the Parliament of the Republic of Zimbabwe and host of the 57th Plenary Assembly, Honorable Speakers of SADC PF Member Parliaments and heads of delegations, Honorable Shirley Joseph Raymond, Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Fredo Nanjua, MP, Minister of Southern Province, Honorable Princess Kasune, MP, Minister of Justice, Honorable Members of Parliament present, Your Excellency, the Secretary General of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Ms. Buemo Sekoma, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Party for National Development, we recognize you, and the members of the Management Committee of the UPND, we also recognize your presence here. Your Worship, Ms. Constance Nalishevo Mleabai, the Mayor of the Great City of Livingstone, Mr. Roy Ngulube, Clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia, Clerks and Secretaries General of Parliaments, the Permanent Secretaries here present, members of the Diplomatic Corps, we have some, District Commissioner for Livingstone, senior government officials, representatives from civil society organizations and the media, staff of members of parliaments and the SADC Parliamentary Forum, the political party leadership at all levels from the province, because I recognize the national, province, district, constituents, and even wards if they are here. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I stand here as you have the Honorable Madam Speaker of the Parliament of Zambia, that the President of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. Hakainde Hichilema, who was invited and was very happy and willing to be here, was caught up last minute and could not come, and asked me to stand in for him. Therefore, as I give my speech, I do it on his behalf. But thank you. But before I start reading the speech, let me congratulate all member states and parliaments that have held elections this year. We did hear from the Secretary General of the Parliamentary Forum refer to a number of states from there, Botswana, who else? South Africa, Namibia, DRC, yeah, and Mauritius, Mozambique. These have held elections which are peaceful, and we have seen people already coming here Colleagues, we should congratulate ourselves as SADC member states for holding peaceful elections. You are setting the tone. The next elections should be even more peaceful. The people of SADC, you are great people. I also want to appreciate, again, the Secretary General. In her speech, she referred to a number of things. I was not expecting them, so I must appreciate. She actually referred to the many achievements that Zambia has gone through, including the restructuring, the debt restructuring. Thank you so much. Including the education system. We appreciate that SADC Forum is listening to its member states. This is the way to go. So that when we meet like this, we are able to share what policies our country is putting in place. Thank you. You even know that more girls have gone back to school because of the policies. Colleagues, it is your duty. Whichever side of the aisle of your parliament you stand on, you sit on, number one, you must think of the people that you promised to serve. Because there's no parliament which is not political. But the political divide should not divide us on policies that are good for the people. So I appreciate it. You mentioned a number of things, and you did. Therefore, I want to go through them. And I go to the speech now. I am standing on behalf of the President of the Republic. I am deeply honored to address this 56th plenary assembly of the Southern African Development Community SADC Parliamentary Forum, organized under the theme, Leveraging Technology and Smart Innovation for Inclusive Parliaments in the SADC region. I am sorry I'm adding this little because I'm reading the President's speech. Madam Speaker, you referred to the book, my book, True to Me. It is on Amazon because here we are saying leveraging on technology. So the book is already on Amazon. People can access it on Amazon. I am grateful to the SADC Parliamentary Forum through the Right Honorable Ms. Nelly B.K. Muti, SCFAPRA Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, for inviting me to grace this important occasion. Mr. President, distinguished delegates, I am pleased to note that as Zambia, we are one of the 12 SADC member states who have successfully signed the SADC agreement amending the SADC treaty aimed at transforming the SADC Parliamentary Forum into a regional parliament. To this end, I wish to congratulate the SADC Parliamentary Forum for successfully obtaining the 12 signatures from the SADC member states. This is the information I had, or we had, as a minimum requirement to amend Article 9, Sub-Article 1 of the SADC Treaty to recognize the SADC Parliament as one of the SADC institutions. Transforming SADC Parliamentary Forum into a regional legislative assembly is important for the SADC region and for the African continent. I have no doubt that any remaining member state shall soon sign the agreement. Distinguished delegates, Zambia remains committed to ensuring that the objective of transforming the SADC Parliamentary Forum into a regional parliament is fully realized through support for subsequent procedures at national and regional levels. To this effect, I wish to pledge my continued support in ensuring that the SADC Parliament operates effectively to the desired standards once it is fully established. Mr. President, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The theme for this year's assembly deeply resonates with our country's aspiration and resolve to achieve sustainable development through the adoption of technology and smart innovation. As government, we are committed to developing information and communication technologies, ICTs, infrastructure in our country. This is because we realize that ICTs are a catalyst for socio-economic transformation of nations globally. The transformative role of technology to Africa's growth has become more evident with the increase in the use of ICT in various sectors of the economy and governance. I wish to let you know that Zambia has the technical ICT capability and expertise to build a digital economy and achieve socio-economic transformation. It is for this reason that as part of our interventions to leverage technology and smart innovation as government, we have undertaken a number of policy interventions in line with this year's SADC Parliamentary Forum Assembly. Firstly, in 2021, we established the Ministry of Technology and Science after forming government. The objective of establishing the new ministry was to promote and coordinate the use of technology and scientific research so as to foster socio-economic development, including the use of technology to address the many pressing challenges in our country. Secondly, we have enhanced ICT infrastructure and digital capabilities in the country in order to drive innovation for improved service delivery and job creation, as well as enhance digital inclusion and connectivity so as to reach the unserved areas, especially in the rural parts of our country. I heard Honorable Mpundu, the youth leader here, talking of the digital divide. We have it in our country, and that is what we are trying to address. In line with this intervention, we have embarked on a countrywide construction of 202 communication towers. We are also working with the private sector to construct an additional 212 towers. These towers, totaling more than 400, once completed, will transform the socio-economic status of our people. Our people will be able to access a number of key services electronically, such as social cash transfer she referred to. Meanwhile, we still have a challenge in certain points because they can't quickly access, but with that, they will be able to access social cash transfers easily, agricultural, legal, and health services, which in turn will enhance participation and inclusion. Most importantly, in line with the theme of this conference, the connectivity of these areas will support an inclusive parliament. As citizens across all our 156 constituencies will be connected and be able to seamlessly interact with their representatives through technology. We heard the leader of the women speak to that. We are working on that now. Further, in our quest to leverage technology and smart innovation and improve access to public services for our people, we are implementing a digital transformation initiative, face-to-face interaction with service providers. This intervention has reduced the risk of corruption in the delivery of public service so far. No, I'll read again. The intervention has reduced the risk of corruption in the delivery of public service. I think you interpreted. So far, 300 public services are being accessed on the ZAM portal. The owner of the ZAM portal is somewhere here. also referred to as government service bus. Ladies and gentlemen, as a result of these interventions, we have created an enabling environment to encourage ICT uptake in Zambia. Subsequently, this has increased public participation, resulting in the inclusion of the youth, persons with disabilities, and women in decision making. To this end, our country has recorded significant improvements in the ICT sector, with all targets recording an increase in the use of ICTs, showing that citizens are ready to utilize digital services. Mr. President, distinguished delegates, despite all these interventions being undertaken to address the current socio-economic problems our country is facing, you may wish to note that there are challenges constraining their effective implementation. For example, while ICTs have played a catalytic role in transforming the economy, technological advancement have also brought about new challenges related to information security, data privacy, and e-waste management. To address these emerging issues and ensure that the country's digital economy is developed in a sustainable and responsible manner, we are working at establishing an effective data protection framework for the benefit of our nation and region. Mr. President, I notice from your program that you will consider country reports to assess the progress made on the implementation of the resolutions of the 55th Plenary Assembly that took place in Luanda, Angola in July 2024. I look forward to the outcome of this process so that as government we can draw lessons from there. It is my expectation that the experts and the members of parliament present at this assembly will be instrumental in navigating around any issues arising from these reports. I also look forward to the experts and members of parliament to come up with new resolutions for implementation in the coming year, leveraging technology and smart innovation for inclusive and responsive parliaments in the SADC region. This brings me to the theme of this assembly, leveraging technology and smart innovation for inclusive parliaments in the SADC region. The theme is very instructive for both Zambia and the SADC region. It speaks to the need for public institutions such as parliaments to embrace technology solutions or technological solutions so that they become more responsive to the needs of the people, especially in the context of the rapid social change and technological transformation our country and the region are witnessing. This transformation has the potential to build trust between citizens and their representatives assembled in parliaments and strengthen democratic governance structures. Therefore, as government, we desire and demand that parliaments must win and sustain the trust and confidence of our citizens in the entire region, leveraging on technology and smart innovation. Mr. President, distinguished delegates,
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
That's what you specialize in. It's here it began, and no. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor and privilege to declare the 56th Plenary Assembly of the SADC Parliamentary Forum officially open. God bless you. God bless our region. God bless our continent. And indeed, may God embrace us all. Bless you. Yeah. I think we can do better than that. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, our guest of honor. Thank you very much, Madam Vice President, for those inspiring remarks and for highlighting the strides made by your government in technology advancements so that no one is left behind, so that the Zambian people experience economic enhancements through your inclusion agenda. As we get towards the end of the official opening ceremony, I would like to invite to the podium to give a vote of thanks, and this will be given by the Honorable Advocate Jacob Francis Zwidamilimo Mudenda, Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and the host for the 57th Plenary Assembly session.
Recording in progress.
Dr. Againde Achilema, affectionately known as HH. Your Honor, speaking to you now when it is just past 1 o'clock and it's lunchtime, I hope my vote of thanks will have some indulgence. Your Honor, allow me to bring greetings from His President Mnangagwa and people of Zimbabwe, and indeed the people, the Parliament of Zimbabwe, to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia. I say Zambia and Zimbabwe have always looked at each other as twins. And the Speaker of Parliament of Zambia indicated that all, and now she has been the first twin to host the 56th Assembly, SADC PF, and there is the second twin who happens to be slightly older, who will host the 57th. Let me register my utmost for Zambia's hospitality through its government, the President, the Parliament of Zambia, that have demonstrated incredible and impeccable hospitality. Thank you. We judge this right from entry point through your officials, the immigration officials. Our transition from home to here, home countries, has been very seamless indeed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I don't want to say we feel at home. We are at home. We are at home. Because Zambia is part and parcel of SADC. So we are at home. Forget about these colonial boundaries. As for me, Your Honor, I am more than at home. My great-grandfather hails from Choma, 100 kilometers from here. Is from Siampondo village. When he died, his wife, my great-grandmother, decided to go back to her people in Hwange because great grandmother had married to the chief Chilisa of Hwange. So she sought permission to go across back to her people with my grandfather, who was only 12 years old. And when they got there, he grew up and was one of the first miners at Hwange Colliery Mine in 1905. And he grew up married to a sister of a chief. And my father was born, I was born in Zimbabwe, Rhodesia then, and that's how we assumed the citizenship of Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, by naturalization and birth. Now, the excellent arrangements, Your Honor, through the Speaker of Parliament, supported under the guidance of our President, Speaker Marciano Seychelles, indeed has been very remarkable, very remarkable. Zambia demonstrated to Africa that it has the capacity to host at the highest level. I cannot forget, Your Honor, when in 2016 Zambia hosted 179 parliaments in Lusaka for the IPU plenary assembly and related meetings, demonstrating that we as Africans from Africa, we can also measure up to those that have been hosting elsewhere in the world. Congratulations, Zambia. But my vote of thanks will not be complete without mentioning this. Zambia has been the cradle of Southern Africa liberation movements. They were all here. They were all here. They were bombed. The camps were bombed. The border was closed. And Zambia experienced higher economic consequences. The people of Zambia, Kenneth Kaunda, never fell backwards. And they followed the song of their leader, Tuyende pamozi ngimtima umozi. Tuluke Zambezi umozi. Together in one spirit, desirous of the liberation of Southern Africa. Let us cross the Zambezi River together. And that happened under the aegis of the frontline states. Julius Zania, Your Honor, that spirit of hankering after independence and freedom must arise, but this time as a liberation movement for economic freedom, as you said. You said we must learn from each other. We must support each other. And indeed, if we stand shoulder to shoulder together, SADC is going to prosper. Tiende pamozi ndimtima umozi. Tuluke Zambezi ndimtima umozi. Your message, Your Honor, especially on embracing the fourth industrial revolution. There is no going back, Your Honor, as you stated. The whole world is becoming digital, following the fourth industrial revolution. And in this context, let us embrace artificial intelligence. Let us embrace artificial intelligence for e-governance, as you said, for e-commerce, for e-industry, and indeed for e-politics. If you were following a few days ago, now you have got human beings. And the example is Sophia Robot, who has been given, this lady has been given the citizenship of the world because she can do what human beings can do, perhaps except to cry and laugh. This is where we are going, Your Honor, and I'm happy that Zambia, as you stated, has a fully fledged Ministry of Technology. Now, in the UAE, in Dubai, they have a ministry of artificial intelligence. Then they've got also a ministry of ICT. These two together are pushing Dubai to the highest degree of digital technological prosperity. You are showing the way, Your Honor, through your government. Express our thanks to His Excellency the President that Zambia is on its right track. Others we will follow. We shall follow Zambia as well. You revealed also you have written a book to me, True to Me, indicating that you have self-faith. And in that self-faith, you have moved mountains. You have conquered challenges. Indeed, you are an example to the women's folk, but more so the girl child. We need more and more of our women folk going up there and leading us. I didn't hear your clapping. I am a he for she in Zimbabwe. Who amongst us here is not born of a woman? None. None. Let us give the women folk chance to lead us. They led us by giving birth to us after carrying us in their womb for 9 months and procreating us. Let us celebrate you, Your Honor. Let us celebrate the new President of Namibia. In Malawi, we had Joyce Banda. Now in Tanzania, we have another female president. I am going to read your book with interest and share it with our members of parliament and the people of Zimbabwe. I just want to understand who you are. Master of Ceremonies, let me say, Zambia remains a shining example in the movement of our transformation journey. We are one of the few countries to sign up. Help us to bring in the other 4 countries through your different spheres of influence. And indeed, of course, you indicated that while we embrace the 4th industrial revolution, we must be aware of the information security. A very important aspect. What you are telling us, we must come up with appropriate legislation in order to contain the negative effects of ICT and digital economies. I would have gone further and further except to say, on a personal note, I feel so happy when I step on this soil of Zambia. It is the soil that gave birth to the liberation of Southern Africa. Tell His Excellency the President that we want to see similar leadership in the economic front, as I wish His Excellency Dr. H.H. good health, success, and prosperity for Zambia. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for the Honorable Advocate Jacob Francis Nzwida Mudenda, Speaker of the Parliament of Zimbabwe, and the hosts for the 57th Plenary Assembly Session. Sir, thank you very much for those remarks and also for championing women leaderships. Indeed, let's move together and let's embrace technology. Guest of honor, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the official opening ceremony. To conclude, we will have a closing prayer and also singing of the anthems. We will then transition to the next part, which is the group photo and lunch by the poolside for the delegates and the grounds to the left of this auditorium for all supporting staff. Thereafter, we will return here for further proceedings, so please do refer to your virtual program. For the photo shoot, we'll have it in clusters, and the participants will include the following. Group 1, which will accompany the top table, will be leaders of delegations. Group 2 will be members of parliament, and the third group will be female members of parliament. So please, National Assembly team, assist us with those protocols. Can I hear that again? Yeah. Thank you. Our host speaker, Right Honorable Nelly Butete Kashumba Muti, State Council. Order, I'm concluding, order. We would like to thank you and congratulate you and your team for hosting this momentous event. Congratulations. Our guest of honor, Mrs. W.K. Mutale Nalumango, Vice President of the Republic of Zambia, we would like to thank you for gracing this occasion with your presence. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you all for your kind attention and wish you fruitful deliberations and a pleasant stay in Livingston. Now, honorable speakers, members of parliament, I wish to propose a motion that we adjourn until 14 hours. As many as are for the motion say aye. I think the ayes have it. The motion is adopted in the affirmative. This House stands adjourned until 14 hours. Right? May I please now request all of you to be upstanding for the closing prayer and the singing of the national anthem and all the other anthems, and then we'll have the group photo. May we have the closing prayer, please?
Recording in progress.
safe passage to our guest of honor, the Vice President of the Republic of Zambia, Mrs. W.K. Mutale Nalumango, and her entourage. Provide now your divine wisdom and counsel to all the conference participants, and continue granting good health and strength upon each one of us. Therefore, to all of you, the delegates, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you safe. May the Lord smile at each one of you with favor. May the Lord lift his countenance upon each one of you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon each one of you, now and always. Through Christ our Lord that we pray. Amen.
We remain upstanding for the anthems, please. In upstanding as the guest of honor and the high table and leaders of delegation proceed for a group photo. Ma'am, thank you very much. Thank you. Leaders of delegations, please join the photo for Group 1.
Good afternoon. You are tuned into Parliament television and radio, and that marks the official opening of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. It was officially opened by Her Honor, the Vice President of the Republic of Zambia, Mrs. W.K. Nalumango. She was speaking on behalf of President Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, who was initially supposed to be here. Delegates and other invited guests are actually going outside to have a group photo. And like we heard, business has not come to a close, because immediately after lunch, deliberation will continue right here at Blue Hotel. The Vice President actually speak to the theme, which and innovation for smart, inclusive and responsive parliaments in the SADC region. Julius.
Yes, indeed, Claudette. It's been a long day. The official opening has taken place. And of course, a lot of pronouncements being made in the addresses that have been made on this day to commemorate the 56th plenary assembly of SADC. Also, the provincial minister, the Credo welcoming delegates and also the participants and delegates, which is a tourist capital, and he did make a call to them to enjoy the tourist areas of interest in terms of tourism in Livingstone, and that Zambia is actually indoors, and various other tourist attractions. So you put upon them to enjoy this trend and tourist attractions. One of the main feature is, of course, the Victoria, even if the water's on.
There's something to still watch even if the water. And our very own Speaker of the Republic, the National Assembly of Zambia, Madam Nelly Muti, actually did deliver a statement, and she talked about the difference, because we're experiencing a climate change and drought, as a region. So it will be important for delegates to deliberate on, how best we can, mitigate this effect of climate change.
She also indicated that among the other activities that will take place is a meeting of the female members of our parliaments, of course, including the Zambian delegation. We have in our midst a delegation of female members of our parliament as a sideline meeting that will be focusing and leveraging on looking at their participation in various spheres that affect women, and so there will also be a meeting involving women. Maybe we take time to talk to some.
That's what I was about to say. Talking about women, we've got our very own female parliamentarians that are attending this important conference, and so we'll have a word or two, from them. Julius, men first this time around. Maybe you can talk to that member of parliament, Miss Brenda Nyirenda.
All right, joining me now is Honorable Brenda Nyirenda, who is a Lundazi member of our parliament. Welcome to this short interview. Just want to have a feel. Madam Speaker has already indicated that you have a side meeting, what that will involve, and you deliberate on issues that are affecting women, not only in Zambia, but also in the SADC region. What is your take on that?
Thank you so much. In the first place, I just want to appreciate that Zambia today, and on behalf of our parliament, we have been able to host this already successful meeting. What touches my heart first is how Zambia is Eurogized. You heard when the Speaker of the National Assembly of Zimbabwe was talking about Zambia. This is a country which was ready to sacrifice just to ensure that other neighboring countries were able to get their independence. Just that puts you, at a very high peak as a country. In addition, when we talk about ICT innovation, it is helping us as parliamentarians. Sometimes I have to go and attend a meeting in my constituency, and I'm given credentials, so I'm able to multitask. It helps me as a female to be able to attend to some of the issues that are with. As women, we multitask. You have to be a mother, you have to be a member of parliament, you have to be a wife, and sometimes even a grandmother. So what you do, the ICT issue or promotion, is helping us as female parliamentarians to be able to multitask and not be able to let go of your parliamentary duties, while you can be able to look at your constituencies and also be able to take care of your family. So for me, this is a very good SADC PF program, and I'm happy that I'm in attendance. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable. All right, that was Honorable Brenda Nyirenda Lundazi, Member of Parliament, taking her take also into the theme. We speaking to the theme, which is to do with technology, advancements of technology, and what these digital platforms has worked in the Zambian Parliament. Now, Claudette will take the next interview.
Thank you, Julius. We now joined by nominated Member of Parliament, Mrs. Mutinta Mazoka. And like we mentioned earlier on, the deliberations haven't, they've just started. So after lunch, there's going to be more deliberations until the 15th of December, 2024, right here at Radisson Blue Hotel. And so there's going to be a number of side meetings that will be taking place. And one of them has got to do with food and agriculture. And Madam Mazoka, I'd like to welcome you to this.
Thank you very much.
I know that yesterday you were attending a meeting on food, agriculture, and natural resources, and you are the vice chair of this standby committee. Let's tell us more about this particular committee.
This particular committee on SADC, PF, looks, at projects and the other issues, to do with the food production, how we can conserve food, how we can prevent certain issues that impact women negatively, and the youth as well. Yes. And for example, yesterday we are brainstorming on how we can leverage as the theme is of this meeting. And then we came up with something that will be a model law, but it wasn't finalized. Yeah. So that law will make the forum, which will soon be a parliament, will make the forum be more active, positively so. Yes.
That did say that she's going to have a meeting just for for women, members of parliament. I know issues of gender. We've got a very few, members of parliament, female members of parliament in our parliament, for instance. I just want to get your comments on how we can ensure that we have more, women representation.
Indeed, we are very few women in the parliament. It's not of our own making. We are greatly disadvantaged because, financially, and then there is this bullying women out of, politics by our, male counterparts. When you are a woman, anything small that they can pin on you, they concentrate on that, and then when it comes to financial resources, women are disadvantaged. We are not as strong in that area as the men, you know.
Recommendations will be made at the end of this.
Absolutely so, yes. Mhm.
Thank you for your time, and we can only wish you all the best. Thank you. That's a nominated Member of Parliament, Mrs. Mutinta Mazoka, just giving us, a voice regarding what is going to be taking place here until the 15th of December, 2024.
Me is Chipunawuli Member of Parliament, Ms. Julian Nyemba. Madam, you are a member of PF Zambia Group, and you are participating in this conference. Maybe share us your experiences. Which committee would you belong to, and also just give us some highlights on how we are going to participate in these committee meetings.
Thank you very much. I'm humbled. Being a Parliament for a rural constituency, on SADC I am under the Human and Social, which looks at the welfare of women, children, our social lives. When you look at the innovation that the government is coming up with, we are being disadvantaged. MP. Towers are not installed in our constituency. So you find most of our people, they don't know what is going on around the world. So I would love the government to install more towers in our rural constituencies so that they're able to see us. They are able to learn from other people what is going on in the other side of the world. Then it's like they are lost. They don't know anything. You go to rural schools, when they talk about ICT, this is just verbal. It is not there. Computers are not there, including the solar system is not installed in these schools. So even if children sit under the Examination Council of Zambia to write the ICT, it is just guesswork. Some of them, they've not even seen a monitor, computer, because these are very far from them. So for us to move together with the urban constituencies, the government needs to come to our head at the very quickest point of time, so that they install these computers using solar, so that these learners also in rural areas are able to see and follow what is going on in the other parts of the world.
I'm sure the guest of honor, Her Honor, the Vice President, did make that pronouncement that that is work in progress, because we're just transitioning to expand our digital platforms, and I'm sure those work should be spread out to Chifunabuli in a short as well. But as and when, as we transform into this digital platform, there are calls from the other sector that maybe the youngsters, the youths might be some kind of abuse of these digital platforms. Even if you might not have Chifunabuli covered with all these digital platforms for now, Her Honor the Vice President did indicate that in excess of about 300 towers have been rolled out across the country. But of course, maybe Chifunabuli hasn't taken a foot there yet, but I'm sure that should be development coming in your constitution, your constituency rather. What is the call on the youths to make sure that they use the technology, the digital platforms for productive issues, even as we roll out these digital platforms to your constituency?
Thank you very much once again. Youth should have a responsibility. They should have a responsibility of taking this ICT with caution. Because we live in a society where we have got norms, what we are supposed to do and what we are not supposed to do. Then we need also to follow our culture. So these things have come, let's not abuse them. Let us have that traditional way, African way in us as we are using this technology, so that we know to say we have got standards, we know where we are coming, we have got traditions, we know what you are supposed to follow. So let them not abuse by, posting anything negative. It should come to build us. It should come to give us a sense of responsibility, so that we move together with the world.
I know that you have a busy week ahead of you. I would like to thank you for this interview, but we'll be getting interactions together as we stay around Livingston for this conference.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Chifunabuli Member of our Parliament, Honorable Julian Nyemba, speaking to the youths of Chifunabuli.
and Rights Caucus, whose chairperson is Mr. Twambo Mutinta. He's also a Tezi member of parliament. Mr. Mutinta, I would like you to come through and just join the. Tell us more about this, sexual reproductive health and rights caucus. We want to know its objective.
Well, thank you so much. So the Zambian Parliament is part of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, where a project that is focusing on strengthening sexual reproductive health and rights across the region is being advanced. And this project is focusing on issues to do with the rights of women, the rights of children, HIV and AIDS, and the intention is to have a global and a regional perspective of how, as parliamentarians, we start addressing the issues that are affecting our young people. You might be aware that the context in the Southern African region is the same. Most of the countries in the Southern region, they are compounded with early and safe pregnancies. They are compounded with increasing cases of gender-based violence. They are compounded with high dropouts in the schools. They are also compounded with a lot of diseases that are affecting the young people. So it is against that background why, from the regional point of view, from the SADC point of view, Zambia is part of the project which is being implemented across the SADC region to see how members of parliament's capacity could be enhanced to understand issues to do with sexual reproductive health. Also, members of parliament's capacity is enhanced in order for them to collaborate with other regional leaders across the globe to come up with laws, to come up with the legal frameworks that will be responsive to the needs of the people that we govern.
That you've mentioned that affect the women and the girls out there in the SADC region, for instance. Are these some of the issues that you'll be deliberating here at the 56th plenary session?
Yes, thank you so much. And as you may be aware, if you look around here, there are also some CSOs that as parliaments we've partnered with so that they come on board in supporting this agenda. So part of this meeting, one of the reasons why this meeting is very key, it will also be a space where we as male champions in parliaments across the region will also be advancing issues around equality, advancing women leadership, which we're in full support. This will also be a space where as member countries will also be providing an introspective of how are we doing at country level in terms of the laws that are advancing sexual reproductive health and rights. We are aware that there are certain protocols across the region, like the ISA commitment that has been signed by Zambia, that has been signed by other countries like South Africa, but other countries like Malawi, they've not signed that. So these are the commitments in the Eastern and Southern African region that are very deliberate in terms of wanting to adapt some of the laws that are protecting the rights of children, protecting the rights of women, and ensuring that as governments we invest adequately in the allocation of resources towards the teaching of CSE in our schools, towards ensuring that we provide support to our children like menstrual support in our schools, also ensuring that we come up with laws that will ensure that the people that are abusing the rights of children and women, they are also brought to book. You might be aware that Zambia so far has taken the lead in enacting the child code law, and also Zambia has signed the ISA commitment, and also Zambia is also on record as in advancing, increasing the funding towards menstrual hygiene, and we are also in the process of reviewing the marriage bill, so the environment for our children habitable. And we also ensure that we start promoting the girl child and ensure that the laws of the land, they become the laws that will be adaptable to the changing times. We are talking about technology, changing times, and ensuring that our women are not victims of globalization, but we ensure that they take advantage of the new trends that are coming so that we ensure that the rights of women, the rights of children are supported. And the men, ourselves as male champions, male parliamentarians, we also take a lead in ensuring that we make an environment that will be habitable for everyone, not only for women.
That's the recommendations that you are going to make during this, plenary session.
So some of the key issues we are advancing in this. the issues around the funding and the financing. And some of the recommendation attached to financing is to bring on board the private companies, non-state actors to come on board and support our governments, who most of the governments in the region struggling with funding and financing. The other issue is about the equal representation. We are aware that in the SADC region, a lot of countries, they don't have the women quota. So we, the male champions, the male members of parliament, we are also advancing
Recording stop. Recording in progress.
Chinsali, member of parliament, Mr. Said. Yes, and of course, we spoke earlier in Lusaka as we are shaping and building to the rise of this important conference. So now we are in Livingstone, and then the official opening has already been done, which was graced by Her Honor the Vice President, and seemingly a lot of positivity that came out from most of the statements that were made, high credentials that were pronounced by Dr. Boemo, who is the Secretary General for SADC PF. He's the next host of the 57th Assembly. The President, Speaker of Zimbabwe also did mention on the positive note on Zambia's participation in the liberation struggles, and of course also now called upon Zambia also taking lead in the economic transformation so that there's economic freedom of its citizens and taking a lead. And also the host speaker did also mention and talk about Parliament taking lead in the digital transformation, where now you as members of our Parliament have been given these tools. And so maybe we take the angle of that with those positive credentials and where we stand as a Zambian Parliament, where we're moving with this digital transformation in line with the theme as well after the official opening. What do you have to say about it?
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to say that most of the speakers that spoke earlier today, they spoke very well and they spoke about a lot of positive things. Now, what I would like to say is that what has happened today, milestone of the collective effort that we have, the collective effort that we have in leveraging on technology in making our parliaments better. And what has happened shows us the critical role that technology has in shaping the future of parliament. I'm very excited because I'm looking forward to seeing how the debates and the discussions are going to unfold as I see and interact with members of parliament and other delegates as we debate and discuss on how we can make use of technology in making our parliaments better. I think that's what I have to say. Thank you.
All right, a lot of an accolade, of course, was given to Zambia. We are coming from a period where we're so affected with COVID-19 that saw the House sitting virtually, including committees, and most of these meetings, not all meetings, were successful. How are you going to stand in the committees to make sure that you're promoting this initiative or intervention that Zambia did make to make sure that business was not impeded. The House did sit, even if it was virtually. We might have one or two challenges, but of course, the House had to sit virtually. So what position are you going to take as you interface with your colleagues in various committees, looking at the theme that the conference is being held under?
Thank you very much for that question. You see, what happens is that the moment you're faced with a situation, that's when you get to learn about ways and means through which you can come out, or means and ways that you can use to survive that situation. So now, with the way we happened to conduct our business, it will provide a lesson to maybe other parliaments from the region who had challenges. So what I can say is that from the experiences that we had, I will be able to share with colleagues, fellow delegates that will come from different parliaments from the region about our experiences, so that we will also get to hear how they were able to come out of the situation, or how they were able to meet as parliament while there was a crisis that we are facing, the crisis of COVID.
Speaker Mudenda called on new members of parliament to embrace the usage of usage of the digital platforms, and called upon embracing artificial intelligence, which perhaps has been there silently, but it's here now to say. What is your position on the usage of artificial intelligence?
It's a timely call. Any country that will not take advantage of artificial intelligence will be doing so at their own peril. When you look at what is happening in the world now, everyone is moving towards the use of artificial intelligence because of the advantages and positive externalities that artificial intelligence brings. So we just have to embrace it. Number one, we embrace it as a country, then we also embrace it as parliament. There is so much benefit that comes with the use of artificial intelligence. So what I can comment on Honorable Speaker Mudenda's call is that it's a timely call, that those who want to achieve the best benefits from artificial intelligence, they have to start now. We don't have to wait for other countries to make a lot of advances to embrace artificial intelligence at a later stage, because you'll find that maybe if we come to do it later, we can be late. Because what Honorable Speaker Mdenda was talking about is that, look, we need to understand that there is a distinction between technology and artificial intelligence. So while we are making advances in technology, we should also be moving at the same pace as artificial intelligence to move in tandem. That's why I used that example of how in Dubai there are different ministries, one for technology and the other one artificial intelligence. Yes, so there is need for us to start using artificial intelligence. Let me give you an example. Sometimes people want to ask questions about how parliament runs. You can have a website, but the website may not be intelligent enough to respond to how people are asking questions. So now, if you embed artificial intelligence in the website, you find that certain questions that people have to ask, the website is able to respond on its own, because it has been empowered and it's been capacitated with artificial intelligence. So it will be able to handle most of the needs of the targeted users of the website.
I know that you have a long day, because we have another session coming just in a short while. I wouldn't want to hold you, but I would sincerely want to thank you for making an appearance on this short interview. You are our usual resource person, and we'll depend on you as we progress in the conference.
I'm very grateful for having accorded me this opportunity with you and also with the viewers. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
Right, that was Sally, member of Parliament, Honorable Kalalwe Muksa, also taking point of view with regards to what is taking place and what is happening right here at Radisson Blue Hotel, where Zambia has hosted the 56th plenary assembly of the SADC PF.
Right. So we've got our last guest for this particular moment, and she's also part of the Sexual Reproductive Health Rights Caucus, which our Member of Parliament for Itezitezi, Mr. Twambo Mutinta, actually, does belong to. And I'm talking about Miss Miriam Mwinga. She's actually Country Director for REPSI. Just tell us more about REPSI. What does it stand for?
Thank you so much. So REPSI stands for the Regional Psychosocial Support Initiative. It is an organization that is operating in 13 African countries, promoting mental health and psychosocial support among children as well as young people. So the organization works with schools, with parliamentarians and different members of the community to promote mental health as well as psychosocial support, and also to look at issues of sexual reproductive health and how those are linked to mental health. Yes.
I know there are a number of issues that are going to be deliberated on: sexual health, issues of gender, and just tell us your role as a civil society regarding this.
Thank you so much. So if you look at issues especially around gender-based violence, teenage pregnancy, you're looking at child marriage, you are looking at mental health itself, psychosocial support. In Zambia, you find that there are a number of organizations that are implementing these activities, but we tend to implement these activities sort of in isolation. Each one is working on their own, taking the same message to the same people, that could be young people in schools or in communities at different times. So you find that a young person, for instance, in a school, can in a week meet 5, 6, 7 different organizations, all of them talking about sexual reproductive health. The members of parliament also get overwhelmed with various organizations coming to talk to them about wanting to meet them on sexual reproductive health issues. So civil society organizations, we formed what is known as the Civil Society Organization Task Force to look at how we could pool our resources together and work together to get this message to the parliamentarian and speak with one voice and avoid. But also the messaging, we wanted to go there with the same message. So that is how we together worked with the parliamentarians and managed to advocate for a parliamentary caucus. So this particular parliamentary caucus on sexual reproductive health came about as a result of various civil society organizations coming together to say, instead of working with single members of parliament individually, instead of each one of us going to parliament in our individual capacities as organizations, let's come together and reach out in one task force. So that is how we have been working together with the members of parliament, and we have also managed to come up with a strategy that the members of parliament will be following to promote sexual reproductive health and rights in communities, but also so that they can be able to table matters related to sexual reproductive health on the floor of parliament.
So in a nutshell, those are the gains that you have made thus far. There are other, children that are going through these issues that you're talking about, issues of sexual reproductive health, that have never been reached by, civil society, for instance. Yes. How do you hope to reach to the, the remotest parts?
Yes, thank you so much. So as a task force, we are able to map out together, discuss and understand where each partner is. So much so that when we are getting our funding, when we are coming up with various programs, we are able to know that, for instance, let me say Shangombo has not been reached out, who goes to Shangombo next? So if we are talking as civil society, it becomes easier to know who is behind, to know which areas have not been touched. So we are able to do that through this joint task force because we are talking to each other.
Yeah, this meeting is going to provide a good platform for you to discuss, these issues. I know that Zambia is not the only country that is going through issues of, sexual reproductive health. There are other countries that are going through what, we are going through. Yeah. What do you hope to achieve after, the 15th of this?
All right. Thank you so much. The theme is talking around issues of digital technology, leveraging on digital technology. So we are looking at what we can do to ensure that the members of parliament go out there to make sure that technology reaches every part of the country, so that every child, every young person out there is reached out to. If we are not able to get there physically, we can be able to reach out to them digitally, and we believe that this can be achieved in the entire Southern African region through the SADC Parliamentary Forum that we are here to attend, and be able to share our advocacy messages with all the delegates that are here so that they can take this message back to their homes.
Thank you for your time, and we can only wish you all the best during this deliberation.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
That's Ms. Mwinga. She belongs to a caucus that is called the Sexual Reproductive Rights, a caucus that the Zambian Parliament actually does belong to. Julius, we done with our guests?
Yes, indeed. It's been a bright morning so far, part of the afternoon. And of course, a break has been taken to usher us into the next segment, which is coming just about 14 hours, according to the time that was announced. But of course, the break was delayed, and so we may not just get back at 14 hours. But of course, just to mention that what is coming up next is the launch of the SADC PF Parliamentary Alliance on Agri-Food Systems, Food Security and Nutrition, which will be brought in partnership with the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO.
Of course, we have a valedictory ceremony for Honorable Professor Peter H. Kajabibi, as the Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia and host Speaker of the SADC headquarters. And so, as Parliament Radio and Television, we'll try by all means to bring to you these events as they unfold here at the Radisson Blu Hotel.
So enjoy watching and enjoy following us. And of course, we take a break for now. We'll see you on the other side when we are back.
Parliament in two other areas. One is the promotion of regional cooperation, in which the parliamentarians can and have performed a great role, both socio-economic cooperation and ensuring that there is harmony between our countries. The other component is that the parliamentarians come together in the forum to exchange experiences, hopefully to learn from each other's experiences. We had gone as far as ensuring that the forum had a capacity building institution so that members of parliament can benefit from each other and learn together, especially when you have new parliaments that have just been elected. So these broadly are the parameters of what the forum has been doing in the last 15 years or so. I participated as the first elected Secretary General of SADC Parliamentary Forum when I went there in 1999. By the way, I was elected while I was serving as a Member of Parliament in Zambia, as a Member of Parliament for Naroro. Unfortunately, I had to resign my post as a Member of Parliament and went over to become Secretary General of SADC Parliamentary Forum. So I participated greatly in helping to build the forum and also to create a model of how the 16 parliaments of SADC can work together and promote common agendas both at national level and the common agendas at regional level. It's a daunting task, but we were able to come up with agendas which were endorsed by the full membership. By the way, there are presently over 4,000 members of parliament and thousands of members of staff of parliaments in the SADC region. I think I've mentioned before that the biggest parliament in the SADC region is the DRC with 600 MPs and South Africa with 400 MPs. Zambia belongs to about a third group because there are those that have 200 and 250 like Angola, Mozambique, and I think even Malawi. And Zambia is in the other category. The smallest parliaments are Botswana, Swaziland and Namibia with just around 100. Zambia has been